Listen, if you are a Marvel stan, if you just accept whatever Kevin Feige gives you and you love it and you enjoy it, more power to you. You, my friend, are going to love Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm not trying to kill your excitement, not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just trying to say, you, Marvel fans that just love it all, this will be an explosion for the eyes for you. Now, for the rest of you, indifferent Marvel fans, people are like losing a little bit of interest in Marvel fans, or people who've never seen a Marvel fan, whoo, be warned, this movie is a bit of a mess. It just is. It's a mess. This movie was made for Marvel fans, and I feel like you have to review it two different ways, because if you were to take a person off the street and take them to this movie, I just can't even fathom how confused they're going to be. Oh, wait, but you got to watch Doctor Strange, and you got to watch the Avengers movies, and then you got to watch the Spider-Man movies, and then you got to watch WandaVision. It's too much. It's too much to this point. Even I'm starting to lose track. There's a character that comes in the beginning that I forgot was one of the doctors in the first Doctor Strange. It's too much. It's too much even for me who really has followed it all. And the problem of that, all that stuff, is this weight of not only expectation, but just characters, and we've seen a lot of things before, so they're trying to like one-up themselves and do new things, and I will give Sam Raimi credit. I do want to give the film credit in the director, Sam Raimi, who came into a movie that's already sort of was beginning, and I think does his damnedest to bring in some really clever camera work, some horror elements, and those moments of the film is when it shines, without a doubt. He's a great director, and I want to see more from him, so I'm not throwing any shade at Sam Raimi. He came into this project late, and I think he just probably wanted to get into the Marvel universe. He hadn't made another studio tentpole in a while, and he does a good job as best he could have done. But the script, man, the script is just another mess, and I got to be careful. I'm not going to get into spoilers. When I do my spoiler review, I will get into more of my feelings. But this movie is just a long, overstuffed Marvel, fan fiction is really what it is, and there's just it's all style over substance for me. Visually stunning, as most of these Marvel movies have become, but even that I've sort of just become, desensitized to. I'm just like, okay, yeah, cool. A lot of CGI, both of them moving their hands around with fancy things coming out. Look, there are some cool sequences. There are a few moments I did enjoy. Like, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just hard to now have a movie called The Multiverse of Madness, and this is what we got. It's just not as good as I had hoped it to be. The script is nonsensical. We've set up this multiverse where we see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come in, right, from a different multiverse. But somehow in this multiverse now, Doctor Strange keeps running into other Doctor Stranges, because it's like the CW, where it's like every multiverse they just happen across has the Doctor Strange version of Doctor Strange. And they all seem to have the same connection to Christine. Like, I wanted something a little bit crazier when the Multiverse of Madness to, like, remember that show Sliders, where they're like going through these different worlds and it's all crazy, and then you got Tom Cruise as Doctor Strange in one world or whatever. I wanted different things. I thought this was an opportunity where they're going to really mix things up and show us things, and I didn't feel that way at any point. There's one montage where America Chavez, who is just a walking MacGuffin, literally, I don't know what didn't care about her at all. Oh, she lost her parents, so suddenly I'm supposed to care. That's the only sort of character motivation we get from her. Otherwise, she just runs along with Doctor Strange, and that's it. But she can travel to different universes, multiverses. That's her sort of power. She's like a strong, like, lightning bolt power, and she can also jump from them, but she doesn't know how to work her powers yet, is what the movie is. But again, she's this walking MacGuffin to justify why they go through these multiverses. And there's one moment where she goes through like a montage of different multiverses, and it's the coolest part of the movie. And it's like, I wish they had just had the guts and the budget to like commit to that and go to some of those crazier places for a little bit and have it like, I don't know, like I just wanted more of that world. Instead, we really only focus on like three worlds ultimately in the whole film, and I'm not going to get into details or spoilers, but overall I just felt underwhelmed. Now, There is one moment of cameos. There's a scene that you've seen in the trailers that I guess is not a spoiler. He meets the Illuminati. It's welcome. They've told you in the trailers, so I'm not spoiling it. I won't get into more details as to who or what that means, but that is the cameo moment of the film midway through. And what should have been one of like a cheering, exciting moment for me, for the beginning it was, I have to admit, ultimately was underwhelming. And I can't get into more detail without spoiling, but I will just say, Marvel fans are going to freak out and love it. They're going to good theater movie, seat opening night in the theaters. Marvel fans will be flipping out and enjoy some of the surprises that are in store. If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you, but there are some fun surprises in that. But even those surprises felt like added in later to justify the film in itself not being as exciting or probably as good as the title implied. Is how it just sort of felt to me. Because the rest of the movie itself, meh. I didn't hate it, but I was just disappointed by it. I'm not connected to any of these characters. Like, Wong is probably the nicest character that we got, but Doctor Strange for me is more of a supporting character. I just don't find him likable that much. He's got the snarky Tony Stark, element, but he doesn't have the heart that Tony has. While you sort of, Tony's a jerk. Like, there's real moments of genuine heart that I feel like Robert Downey Jr. brings to the movies that I just don't get the same with Benedict Cumberbatch. He's just very serious through the whole time. And he's an overpowered wizard. Now, I don't hate the character. I like him in the supporting role. I thought he was great in the Avengers movies. Spider-Man, I just thought he was written poorly. He was written like a buffoon. How does this guy mess up a spell like that? In this film, Benedict has some chances to shine, but even when he's like playing other versions of himself, I didn't really get to see that much range that I was like blown away. I will admit, the one who blew me away more is Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, but again, another character where I don't want to spoil. I mean, you guys, I guess know she's turning evil, right? And just like in WandaVision, which if you haven't watched, good luck following this movie. Just like in WandaVision, she just becomes another serial killer. And I'm just like, how many times are we going to allow this to happen and still feel for her? Like, girl, you're the most powerful witch or whatever. You can't make your own choices. I don't get it. I don't feel for her with her quest for her children. Again, it's repeating a lot of the WandaVision plot. If you watch WandaVision, that's where you left off. She needs to see her kids. And she's sort of consumed because she thinks that her multiverse... the kids are in the multiverse, and she wants to find a version of herself in the multiverse where she can have the kids. But as Doctor Strange points to her at one point, well, what about the Wanda in that world? And then she doesn't really have an answer to it. And then she's just, again, it's like this weird justification for her choices and the chaos that ensues throughout the movie, where I don't know, I didn't buy it. I'm starting to dislike her. Not the performance. Like, Elizabeth Olsen does her best with the script. She cries, and she's strong, she's sinister, but I just wish they would just commit to her being fully evil instead of always walking that Marvel line of she's under a spell of the dark books and whatever, and just own it. Just make her go evil. Just make her be an evil character in this world, and let's just do it. It's hard to relate. It's hard to connect as a villain or as a hero because she's playing both sides, it seems, all the time. And again, it's a fault to me of the script and sort of Marvel's refusal to have real hardcore villains, even though this movie has some really cool horror, like, dare I say, gory elements. It does. And I'm just shocked because of that, I'm shocked I didn't like it more. And it's hard to talk about without spoiling, and I'm not going to spoil. I told you I wouldn't spoil. I refuse to spoil. But the film has some surprises. It has some horror elements from Sam Raimi that do work. Elizabeth Olsen really does her best and gives a sinister performance. So there are enough bonuses here that I can't say I hated this movie by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't hate it. I was merely just disappointed by it. It didn't sit. This is not one that's going to be high on my list. And the potential here was so epic, especially jumping off of No Way Home, introducing the multiverse, the cameos, all of it had so much potential. And for me personally, I'm starting to feel the saturation point of Marvel. When your movie relies on cameos and not a good script and a character arc, I just think that's where a film fails. And I think a lot of Marvel fans, no disrespect, you're distracted by the fan service and you're not really accepting the fact that the story isn't very good. That these stories are just forced and stuffed to give you CGI battles. And I think those battles are more effective when you care more for the characters. Now, granted, I guess that's mean of me to say Marvel fans clearly care about these two characters, I guess more than I do. And that's where our difference of opinion is. I am not a huge Doctor Strange fan. He's grown on me. I like him in supporting roles. As a standalone film, still not a huge Doctor Strange fan. Scarlet Witch is a sinister, but still not enough of a villain for me, and that's a problem. Are you a hero or are you a villain? I'm so sick of these anti-heroes or these missed, opportunities of, they're just misunderstood. Enough. Marvel, commit to a good, awful villain. Commit. Please. America Chavez is literally a walking MacGuffin. I don't know why people are so excited about her. She's fine. She just brings nothing. Oh, her parents are dead. She's sad. Okay? That doesn't mean that's character development. The movie is a mixed bag. Again, props to Sam Raimi. I really enjoyed Sam Raimi. I want to see him come back and do more. I'm not signing out of the MCU by any stretch of the imagination. I still want to see it. I still want to see where these things go because I think there's so much potential. But this one feels like a big swing and a miss for me. Big swing where I feel like they need to refocus. And unless it's characters we really know, coming up with Guardians and Thor, which I hope will be, and the next Black Panther, I feel like those are ones that we can be excited about. But I don't know. I think the MCU is starting to show signs of wear. It's still going to make a ton of money, and Marvel fans are going to go gaga. But for me personally, this was underwhelming. I'd give this a solid not a full thumbs down. Excuse me. Not a full thumbs down. I'd say out of 10, this is like a 5.5, maybe a 6. Like a D. I give it like a D, maybe a D plus. D plus. D plus. There it is. Maybe a C minus if I think about it. I need a few more days, and then I'll either a C minus where it just barely passes, or a D plus where it just doesn't completely fail but underwhelms for me. But I'm curious to see how you guys react and how you disagree with me. I'm sure many of you will. Andy, you suck. Whatever. Don't care anymore. This channel is just for fun. I want to share my opinion. So there's my honest opinion. I think lower those expectations. Hopefully you'll enjoy it better than I did. I always want you guys to enjoy the movies. But my gosh, Marvel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that like button. And stay tuned for more here on Movie World Plus. Thanks for watching, everybody.